Hey everyone, if you love spine-chilling stories that keep you awake at night, grab a cup of coffee and stay with me, because what you're about to hear will make you question every shadow around you. My name is Daniel, and I never believed in ghosts or paranormal things until the night I got stuck at a forgotten train station in the northeastern United States during the winter of 2021. I was traveling alone from Chicago toward New York because of a work assignment, and my train was already running late due to heavy snow. It was around 1:47 a.m. when the train stopped at a small station that didn't even feel real anymore. The announcement crackled through old speakers, saying there would be a technical delay, and no one could tell how long it would last. Most passengers stayed inside the train, but I stepped out to stretch my legs, and that decision quietly changed something inside me forever. The platform was long, narrow, and almost empty, the kind of place where sound doesn't travel normally. Every footstep echoes too much, and every silence feels heavier than it should. The lights above flickered slowly as if they were struggling to stay awake. The air was freezing and smelled like metal rust and wet concrete. I remember pulling my jacket tighter and thinking this place felt wrong. Not dangerous, just wrong. Like it had been forgotten by time itself. I sat on a cold metal bench and checked my phone, but there was no signal, just an empty screen reflecting my face, looking tired and annoyed. That's when I noticed someone standing at the far end of the platform. At first I didn't pay much attention because stations always have strange people at night, but after a few minutes, something started to bother me. She wasn't moving at all. She stood perfectly still, facing the tracks, wearing a long, pale coat that looked almost white under the lights. Her hair was dark and hung forward, hiding her face completely. 5 minutes passed, then 10. She didn't check a phone. She didn't look around. She didn't move, even once. The cold started biting my skin, but she looked untouched by it. That's when she slowly turned her head toward me. Not her body, just her head. The movement was unnatural, too smooth, too quiet, and then she started walking in my direction. Each step was slow, deliberate, and silent. I noticed immediately that I could hear my own breathing, my own heartbeat, but not her footsteps, even though she was clearly walking on concrete. As she got closer, the air felt heavier, like pressure building in my ears. When she finally stopped a few feet away from me, she lifted her head slightly, and in a low, cracked voice she asked, "Is the train late?" Her voice sounded distant, like it was echoing from somewhere else, not from her mouth. I hesitated but replied, "Yes, it's delayed." She stared at me for a long moment, then smiled softly and said, "It's always late." The lights above us flickered violently, and for a second everything went completely dark. When the lights came back on, she was gone. No sound, no movement, nothing. I stood up fast, my heart racing, telling myself I imagined it, but deep down, I knew I hadn't. Then, I felt it. Someone standing behind me, so close I could feel the cold radiating from them. I didn't turn around immediately, because every instinct in my body was screaming not to move. A whisper brushed against my ear, "You're waiting too." I spun around, and she was there, inches from my face. Her eyes were wide, empty, and wrong. Her mouth opened wider than it should, and the world tilted. I don't remember falling. I woke up inside a small station office, lying on a bench. A security guard sat nearby drinking coffee. Like this was completely normal. When I told him what I saw, he didn't look surprised. He just sighed and said, "You met her." He explained years ago a woman had died on that platform, waiting for a train that never came. Since then she appears to people who are alone and waiting late at night. He leaned closer and said, "If she speaks to you, she remembers you." I left as soon as my train arrived, but something followed me. Not physically, not visibly, but mentally. Weeks later I started hearing her voice in other places. Airports, subway stations, empty parking garages. Always the same question. Is the train late? Sometimes I would wake up at night, feeling like someone was standing at the foot of my bed, watching me, quietly. Waiting months passed and the sightings became clearer. Reflections in windows, shapes behind me, shadows where there shouldn't be any. I stopped traveling at night, but that didn't stop her. Clearly behind me. Inside my own apartment, you're still waiting. That's when I realized she wasn't tied to the station anymore. She was tied to me. And the worst part is, I don't feel afraid anymore. I feel like I'm waiting for something too, something I don't understand yet. But I know one thing now. Some places don't trap ghosts, they create them. And some questions should never be answered. Because some trains don't carry passengers, they carry souls. And once they stop for you, there is no final destination. If you survived this story with me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our haunted family. Because the next story is even darker, and you won't want to miss it.